Hello everyone, welcome back to TechBlog 66. Today we are diving into one of the most talked about comedies of the 1980s, the 1987 film Ishtar. This is a movie that has carried a unique reputation for decades. Some people call it misunderstood, some call it overly ambitious, and others simply remember it as one of Hollywood's most infamous box office disappointments. But beyond all the headlines and history, what kind of movie is Ishtar really? Let's explore the story, performances, direction, humor, and legacy in this detailed, monetization-safe review. Ishtar was directed by the talented and respected filmmaker Elaine May, a director known for her sharp wit and character-driven storytelling. The film stars two major comedy icons of the time, Beatty and Dustin Hoffman. With that kind of creative team, expectations were incredibly high. Audiences anticipated a brilliant comedy, filled with clever dialogue and unforgettable moments. The story centers around two struggling songwriters, Chuck Clark and Lyle Rogers, played by Beatty and Hoffman. These two friends are passionate about their music, but unfortunately, they are not very talented. Their lyrics are awkward, their melodies are forgettable, and their confidence is far greater than their actual skill. Yet, their optimism never fades. They genuinely believe they are destined for stardom. Their journey takes a surprising turn when they are offered a gig in North Africa. They travel to a fictional Middle Eastern country called Ishtar, hoping this opportunity will finally launch their careers. However, once they arrive, they quickly find themselves caught in a web of political confusion, mistaken identities, and international intrigue. At its heart, Ishtar is a comedy about ambition, friendship, and delusion. The humor largely comes from the contrast between the characters' confidence and their complete lack of musical ability. The songs they perform are intentionally terrible, and that is part of the joke. The film uses satire to poke fun at show business dreams and the idea that belief alone guarantees success. One of the strongest elements of the film is the chemistry between Beatty and Dustin Hoffman. Both actors fully commit to their roles. They are not playing charming heroes or romantic leads here. Instead, they portray slightly clueless, overly confident dreamers. Their performances require a kind of fearless vulnerability. It is not easy for established stars to make themselves look foolish on screen, but both actors embrace that challenge. The comedic style of Ishtar is very specific. It relies on awkwardness, repetition, and uncomfortable situations. Some viewers appreciate this subtle humor, while others may find it slow or overly drawn out. The pacing can feel deliberate, especially in scenes where the joke builds gradually instead of delivering immediate laughs. This style may not appeal to everyone, but it reflects Elaine May's distinctive storytelling approach. Visually, the film makes strong use of its desert setting. The wide landscapes contrast sharply with the small-scale ambitions of the two main characters. The desert becomes almost symbolic. It represents isolation, confusion, and the vastness of the world compared to their narrow dreams of musical fame. Cinematography captures both the beauty and harshness of the environment, adding texture to the comedic chaos unfolding within it. The supporting cast also adds dimension to the story. Political factions, rebels, and foreign agents appear throughout the film, creating a backdrop of global tension. This mix of political satire and buddy comedy is ambitious. The film attempts to balance slapstick humor with commentary on international politics. That combination is part of what makes Ishtar unusual. It is not just a simple comedy, it is layered with satire that may require patience to fully appreciate. When discussing Ishtar, it is impossible to ignore its historical context. Upon release, the film struggled at the box office. Reports of production challenges and budget concerns overshadowed its premiere. Over time, the movie became a symbol of Hollywood excess during the 1980s. However, history has a funny way of reshaping opinions. In recent years, some critics and viewers have revisited Ishtar and found it more interesting than its reputation suggests. The film's music deserves special mention. The intentionally bad songs are written with careful precision. Creating songs that sound amateurish while still being catchy enough to remember is harder than it seems. The lyrics are awkward in a very deliberate way, which shows thoughtful comedic craftsmanship. These songs reflect the personalities of Chuck and Lyle perfectly. They are earnest, misguided, and surprisingly determined. Another key theme in Ishtar is friendship. Despite misunderstandings, arguments, and absurd situations, Chuck and Lyle remain loyal to one another. Their bond anchors the film. Even when the political plot becomes complicated, the emotional core remains simple. Two friends are chasing a dream together. That emotional grounding prevents the story from becoming completely chaotic. Elaine May's direction emphasizes character over spectacle. While there are moments of action and confusion, the focus consistently returns to dialogue and personality. She allows scenes to breathe. She trusts the audience to notice subtle reactions and awkward pauses. This slower rhythm may feel unusual compared to modern comedies, but it gives the film a distinctive voice. From a cultural perspective, Ishtar reflects the 1980s fascination with global politics and adventure stories. Films of that era often mixed comedy with international settings. However, Ishtar approaches this formula differently. Instead of presenting its heroes as capable adventurers, it portrays them as unprepared outsiders. That reversal creates both humor and commentary. The performances of Beatty and Hoffman also reveal interesting contrasts. Beatty's Chuck is slightly more confident, while Hoffman's Lyle is more anxious and expressive. Their differing personalities create comedic friction. Watching two highly respected actors intentionally play incompetence is part of the film's charm. In terms of tone, Ishtar walks a fine line between satire and sincerity. It makes fun of its characters, but it never completely mocks them. There is affection in the portrayal. We laugh at Chuck and Lyle, but we also root for them. That emotional balance keeps the film from becoming cynical. The film's legacy is complex. For years, it was often cited as an example of a misunderstood production. Yet, modern reassessments have encouraged viewers to look beyond headlines and judge the film on its own merits. Some now see it as a bold, character-driven comedy that dared to take risks. Is Ishtar perfect? No. The pacing may test some viewers' patience, and the blend of political satire with buddy comedy can feel uneven. However, it is undeniably unique. Few films attempt this specific combination of awkward musical humor and geopolitical confusion. That originality alone makes it worth discussing. For viewers who enjoy character-based comedies and performances that embrace awkwardness, Ishtar offers memorable moments. Its humor is not loud or flashy. Instead, it unfolds gradually, rewarding those who appreciate subtle satire. As we wrap up today's review on TechBlog 66, here is the final takeaway. Ishtar is a film that deserves to be watched with an open mind. Set aside the stories about its production and focus on the characters, performances, and themes. You may find that beneath its controversial reputation lies a thoughtful, offbeat comedy about dreams, friendship, and the courage to keep going even when the odds are not in your favor. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this review, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to TechBlog 66 for more classic and modern movie discussions. Let me know in the comments what you think about Ishtar and whether you see it as a misunderstood gem or simply an ambitious experiment. This movie is available on YouTube free.